All right. Hello, everybody.
Hey there.
Hey there. Glad everybody could join. Leon, David Skolnick. Whew. I've been, let me show you guys what I've been doing all day today. You ready to, can I share my day with you? No? Sure. Here, this was, here we go. This is 12,060 feet.
That's high. That's twice as high as Laguna.
Yeah, that's Parson Bowl at Winter Park Ski Area. And it was one of those perfect little days. It was in the high 30s, super sunny. Look at that bowl there. It's gigantic. It's surreal. You're on top of the world there. The air is really thin. And the skiing is, you go over that little ledge there and you're in this gigantic bowl. And it's just beautiful. And that's what I did. That's what I did today. Hi, Len.
Hi. I watched your video of you skiing and I got dizzy at the end because you kept like going in circles or something. I was like, I have to turn it off.
It's I do trick skiing. I ski backwards. I spin a lot. Wow. I do a lot of crazy shit. I had one of those mornings. One of the things I wanted to talk about today is, did you ever have a person you didn't want to do a deal with? Hi, Jessica.
Hi.
You made it. Yay.
Yeah. So did you. We got you off the slopes.
Claudia picked me up just a little while ago and had to get home. I had to shower. And we had to go to the liquor store. Because I said it's beer with Claude night, and yes. I'm in Colorado skiing. So, what beer is appropriate for tonight? Leon, do you like beer?
I used to, but I like water now.
Water's good.
Water's good too.
I love water. It's just crazy. I was just in the airport. We were in our place in North Carolina, and we always buy a couple bottles of water.
$10 a bottle, right?
How did Fiji water become $6 a bottle? How did that?
Wow, that's a deal.
That's crazy.
A little bottle, it's kind of square, and I like it because it's got that whole Hawaiian Polynesian thing.
So do you drink water, or do you get a gallon of gas?
Yeah.
I don't know. What is gas in California now, David? Give us the California gas.
I got gas last night at Costco. It was still $5.
Gas all the time.
It was still under $6. Thank God.
What is it at Costco now?
It was like $5.49, $5.45.
Wow.
Yeah.
I should here at Colorado. What is it? In North Carolina, it was $4.19.
LA, it's over $7.
Whoa.
You're crazy.
Sounds like gas prices are going to go up more too from the forecast I've been listening to. Yeah,
David, you're driving me to drink. So this is my first drink of the day here.
Yeah.
You sure you don't want to fly back to San Diego? You might get here cheaper.
Hey, to everybody, good health. Health is most. Suzette, hi. I didn't see you. Hi there. I'm the only one drinking right now. I know it's early in California. Okay, show me your drink.
I'm brewing.
Cranberry.
It is called beer with Claude. I mean,
This is like cranberry juice with vodka.
Looks like you're the only lush in the room.
I am a lush. I don't drink a lot, but I do have a drink every day. I usually have a beer or a glass of wine with dinner, and I love it and I enjoy it. I don't eat all day. I'm a nomad, one meal a day kind of guy. I exercise every day. I do try up to 10 miles or more. Today I skied for like 3+ hours. And
how do you do that on an empty stomach? How do you do that on an empty stomach?
That's a great question. We don't need. Can I get a little biological here for a second? We don't need as much food as we think we need. We're kind of conditioned. Like, everybody remember the thing in high school, Pavlov's dog thing, where every time they rang the bell, they fed the dogs. and the dogs would start to salivate the minute they heard the bell. Then they started to salivate every time they saw the technician come in with the white coat. We are conditioned to think we need. I'm not kidding you. This is the biggest problem, and we're worried about so many things. But I think the biggest worry, and Jessica will love this topic. I think we're eating too damn much. We're eating 8 meals a day, all that little snacking, and our bodies are a wonderful product. I'm going to get on a soapbox for a second. Our bodies are this wonderful God-given product that evolved over God knows how long. And our cave people and Neanderthals and people we came from, they didn't have a refrigerator or a microwave or a Safeway or McDonald's or Popeye's chicken. Okay, they ate when they found food, and sometimes a couple days, a week, even a month or more went by before they found food. Okay, and the human body is a marvelous invention designed to go without food. I think the world record is this one gentleman. He lost about 200 and something pounds. He didn't eat for a year, over 365 days. All he drank was liquids and supplements under the care of a doctor. I don't endorse this. I am not a doctor for anybody watching this or anything, but we don't need to eat constantly. And if we condition ourselves, I eat a normal dinner,
You're down 50 pounds since I first met you. You used to be around 200.
It's so hard in American society because we're inundated with the food and the commercials, and it's God. Do you ever watch the Food Channel on YouTube?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yes.
It makes you so hungry.
I try not to.
Oh God. I mean,
But also the food has all those preservatives and all those additives that makes us addicted to it too.
Addicted is the same thing as conditioned. We are addicted to food. We are addicted to processed food, where these companies are trying to manipulate our taste buds with salt and sugar and enhanced flavorings and things like that. Leon, you didn't come here for this, did you? I can read your face.
Oh no, I'm just I'm locked in. I'm just listening. I'm learning because I agree with you on the food piece. I mean, I work out 3 to 4 times a week, but sometimes I feel like I need to eat 3 or 4 times a day, but
try and skip one meal once in a while. Try and skip a breakfast or a lunch and eliminate the snacks. When we grab, do you ever go to an office building and the secretary's desk has a thing of M&Ms there or something like that? Or restaurants used to have mints. Remember the mints? And they call them toilet mints now. Should I explain why they're called toilet mints?
No, we know.
Why?
Why?
Nobody washes their hands when they put their hands in the bowl.
Yeah.
And they just came from the bathroom.
Oh my God.
This is gross. Don't ever eat an open bowl of candy or mints because you guys go to bathrooms in airports and stuff. Does everybody wash their hands?
Going back to your food thing, that's the emotional connection where they get us on the commercials, the Carl's Jr. burgers dripping with juice and ketchup and mustard, and it's just like the gut selling. You got to get them emotionally connected to whatever you're talking about.
And the food always looks amazing. It's like even when you're not hungry, you look at that on the TV and now you're hungry again.
I once took my burger back to the register. I said, "This doesn't look like the one on the commercial. Can you make me a better one?" It looks like somebody stepped on it.
They play with our minds and with our taste buds and our senses. And I watch Jason Fung. He's a nephrologist, a kidney specialist, and he wrote a great book, The Obesity Code. And he basically got a lot of his patients who are diabetic off the insulin. He said, "You're just eating too much. You're stressing your body by constantly making it digest and produce insulin and everything." And he said, just skip a couple meals, skip one meal a day. And then maybe eventually skip the snacks, and then maybe skip and maybe get to one meal a day. There's some people, they do one meal every 36 hours. I can't do that. I look forward to dinner. Man, I'm like a chihuahua at the table begging. I can't wait for dinner time. And, I'm starving by then. But it helps me to control my weight. I finally found something that works for me. Weight's always been a problem for me. Even with I've always exercised, and my weight, it'd go up and down like a yo-yo. And finally, the only thing that helped me control my weight was not eating so damn much, just skipping meals. And you condition yourself where you don't get, those hunger pangs. You say, well, I'm not going to eat a Twinkie anymore. And someone puts out a whole plate of Twinkies or something in front of you. I'm going to eat those puppies.
Yep.
Absolutely. I wanted to play a little challenge today. So you do a deal. Hi, Alex. I don't know if you can hear me yet.
Yeah, I can
Hi,
hear you.
Alex.
Hey,
New York.
how's it going?
Alex, my New Yorker is in the building. So you get, so you do a deal with somebody on a Friday, and you have this great conversation, okay? And you negotiate the price and the terms and everything. And Alex, what are you drinking there, man? There's another beer guy in the room. Thank God. All right, Bud Light. All right, good.
You don't want to play George Thorogood right now. I drink alone.
George Thorogood.
Now you got a buddy.
But bad to the bone.
No, the one that goes, I drink alone. Remember that song?
I love that George Thorogood song. When I was born, the nurses all gathered around. One of them said, leave this one alone. She said, why? Because he's bad to the bone. But bad. Everybody know that song?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Everyone knows that song.
I love that song. So you do a deal with somebody, real pleasant, you negotiate it, and then they throw you a wild card. This is a big deal for us. Selling this home and everything. I want to discuss it with my spouse. I said, that's wonderful. I would do the same thing. Can we speak this evening? Sure. Okay, evening comes, I get a text. My husband's not home yet. Could we talk in the morning? I said, fine. What time? And she texted me back 10 o'clock Eastern time. I said, fine, that's 8 o'clock for me. We'll meet on Zoom and we'll decide to move forward. So 8 o'clock comes. Nobody's there. Nobody's there. And so I text, no response. I call and I said, what's going on? Oh, I'm so sorry. I made an honest mistake. I said, you're the one who set the time frame. You're the one who scheduled this. And this is texting, okay? And tell me if I did this wrong. What would you do at this point? I won't tell you what I did. I'll leave that for the end. Bailey, what the heck would you do from someone who gave you a firm commitment, set a meeting in the evening, rescheduled it in the morning? They rescheduled it, and then they're playing games. What would you do with that person? Big deal too, by the way. It's a lot of money.
Fire them.
I'd ask them if they're serious about solving the problem in a roundabout way.
What do you think? Do you think the problem is the person is a liar?
Could be that they
could
don't hold their
just
commitments.
have cold feet.
Cold feet, possibly.
Are they buying from you or are they selling you a property?
It was me buying a property from them.
Wow.
Numbers, everything was a good deal. It was a fair deal. And they're on a 1 through 10, they were a healthy 8 in terms of motivation. Great conversation, face to face on Zoom. She wanted to have her husband in on the discussion. I said, I have no problem with that. Reschedules for the next morning today, and then totally disses me. What would you do?
I'd send him a text. Are you really serious about wanting to do this deal?
Okay.
Doesn't sound like you're.
Is it over?
I send him a text. Oh, go ahead.
Send him a text message. Tell him you got up early. Say, hey, I'm waiting on Zoom for you. Are you coming?
I did. That's Bailey. Man, you're sharp. That's exactly what I did. I got up early for you. I get up early anyway, by the way.
No, but you can tell him you rescheduled a bunch of stuff to make sure you could put this time slot in. And I'm 100%. You have my 100% attention.
Okay.
Where are you? Yeah. Good job, Bailey.
Yeah. Leon, what did you say before? I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, I would send him a text like, I haven't heard from you. Are you okay? Do I need to call the paramedics? You know?
Does anyone know? Does anyone want to take a guess what I did? Or what I texted?
You're fired.
I would say if you're not on in a few minutes,
Jessica got it. I typed in it's over.
Yeah.
I said and you're fired.
Yeah.
What happens when we reject people really hard, really fast? I mean, this was a firm appointment, and she
pick up the phone and call you.
They start to chase you.
What, Alex?
They chase you.
They might chase you when you fire them, but when someone manipulates you and then lies to you, oh, it was an honest mistake and everything. You're the one who said this. And she even texted it to me with the time and everything. I sent her the text back where she set the time. Is that lying or manipulation? Do we have to put up with that all the time? Do we really have to put up with that?
That is lying. She could have just told you no from the beginning.
Right.
Yeah.
She just wasted your time.
You just wasted my time, and life is too short. Let me see if I can find this.
Where did they say?
Is it sometimes that can be like a disagreement between spouses. So try to find out where the problem lies.
My husband has not come home from work. Is there any way we can reschedule? Claude, sure. We can do tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Eastern time, 8 a.m. MDT. The perfect, thank you. Boom. And then this is me sending back her text to her. And then I put underneath, just to show you I'm not
fired. I love it.
What did she say?
What
was
did
her
they say?
response?
Wow, okay. What?
She said, okay, wow, it was an honest mistake.
Right.
You just
what about this, Claude? To try to dig a little deeper to find out where does the problem lie. Sometimes it's between two spouses.
I'm not a marriage counselor. I'm not qualified.
No, but in order to facilitate your deal, so you can, if it's something you really want, just ask a few questions. Is where does the issue lie? Where's the challenge?
Good point. Good point. Valid point. Sometimes in the past, what happens when we get emotional? We always talk about this. What happens when you get emotional in a deal? You're fired, right?
Yeah.
You're fired. And maybe sometimes we shouldn't say you're fired. Maybe you should say, oh, I understand. Go ahead. Pee on my back some more and tell me it's raining, right?
No, it wasn't that. It was more to try to facilitate the deal so that you could, make your deal be completed. It's not, it's really just to ask a few more questions to see if it's resolvable or not. And then if it's not, then you can move on. But it just. I wish I
had your patience.
Well, it served me well. Served me well.
It's really good to have patience sometimes. Yeah. I'm getting old and ornery or something.
There's a line to draw. Always there's a line, that we have to draw. But sometimes having a little bit more temperance can reward us, really well as well. So.
She's not from Jersey.
Well, Claude, is it because you maybe didn't need this deal as much as maybe somebody else would have? So it was okay for you to fire them? Somebody else might be a little bit more desperate.
Great point, Lynn. If I was 30 years ago, the rent is due, got a new baby, need some expensive formula, doctor bills and everything. Would I be, I needed the money bad, okay? I'm not in the position I am today, 30 years later. Do you think I'd be a little more tolerant and patient and forgiving if I needed the money real bad?
Yep.
Yeah.
Can we flip this around? If you were the seller and you wanted to sell a property that you couldn't sell, what would you do in that case? And you were the seller and the buyer wasn't answering the phone. What would you say? or the Zoom or whatever.
You can, when people go on, I call it some people call it ghosting. I've always used the expression, the witness protection program. You're talking with somebody. Oh, this is great, Lynn. Oh, Ms. Wagner, thank you so much. Oh, I'm going to tell my wife about this. I can't wait to do this deal with you, Lynn. Lynn, give me a call next week, Monday or Tuesday, and let's get this thing going, okay?
Yep. Okay.
Okay.
I'll give you a call.
I just manipulated you. What happens when we don't hear, and part of guts is getting specificity. Oh, I sent a $10 word today.
I think that's $15 today.
That's 15. I'm going to digress here for 1 second. Are you guys getting letters and things noticing that I just got a letter from the management company on a homeowners association. I sit on the board, and we're raising all our prices now. And I just heard from another fella who's also, they're raising all the tenants' rents 10% now. 200. Are you guys seeing, remember, we've talked a lot about this inflation thing that's going on right now, and now gas is going through the roof. Do you guys seeing a lot of people all of a sudden raising prices on everything?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. Everything.
What have you noticed? What besides gasoline? What have you noticed? Any food products?
Even a pre-made sandwich at Vaughn's has gone up 50, 60 cents. Everything at Costco's gone up another half, 75 cents to $1.
Yep.
Even at the dollar store, everything's $1.25 now. That's a huge increase.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They can't call it the dollar store anymore. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm. Stocks up though. Stocks up.
I'm gonna get a ladder and put a 1 in front of the 99-cent store.
Also services like salons, hair salons, they're increasing their charges because of that as well. Their products went up. So yeah, everything's going up.
I just went to a local barber. My hair was really getting COVID long. Okay. So I got to get a haircut. I went to a local barber shop, with the red and white flagpole or whatever and everything like that. What do you think a simple haircut, not a beauty salon or anything. What do you think a simple haircut at a barber shop costs today?
15.
20.
It's usually
20 bucks. 20 bucks. And you got to tip the dude.
I don't have that much hair to cut. I got my own clippers now.
You're saving money.
Claude has too much hair to do that.
Even my friend's pizza restaurant, nobody's calling for deliveries anymore. They're all picking up because they don't want to tip. They don't have the extra money to tip.
Isn't there a big service charge on top of deliveries anyway?
A lot of pizza places do, yeah. He doesn't, but they're still pick up.
When you order something, you order a pizza, and then on top of the pizza, with the tax and everything, and then they throw another $5 service charge on it, and they call it delivery charge, right? Okay, it's a delivery charge, and you still have to tip the delivery person, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But what was the delivery charge for? And why do we still tip on top of the delivery charge? Are we supposed to?
Well, the franchises give you $2 or $3 out of that $5 to the driver, just in case you didn't get tipped.
Alex, you're dying to say something here, man. I can read your face.
I think it's just too much. I'd rather just go pick the pizza up.
Yeah.
Okay. Would someone explain one thing? Explain what's the one pizza you're supposed to pick up and put in your oven? What's that franchise called?
Papa Murphy's.
Someone explain it to me. I don't get it. My kids get it. Why would you want to go to a store to pick up a pizza that's not cooked and then cook it yourself? What's the point? I don't get it. Someone explain it to me.
Hey, you want to open the box and eat?
Yeah.
I want the pizza. I want to eat it, maybe nuke it for a second. I want to eat it. I don't want to cook it. What's the whole point of that?
You can do that at the grocery store. You just go buy a pizza at the grocery store and put it in the oven. It's crazy. I've never done that, so I don't know.
Maybe it's frozen. It's a fresh bake kind of thing.
I always dress up a frozen pizza anyway. True. I throw more stuff on top.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Freshly made. That's true. That's a point.
So I have a question going back to what you were saying with that role play. I'm still having trouble with the you're not allowed to think about it thing, or when do you draw the line between you're not allowed to think about it and then they get offended or whatever, even though you set the agenda, you told them up front, don't tell me this, you agree you're not going to try to hurt, you're not going to hurt my feelings to say no. But where do you draw the line to feel them out to where, okay, let's say I give you till later this afternoon or tomorrow at whatever time. When do you make that decision between firing them and giving them another 12 to 24 hours?
Let me answer your question with another question, okay? How many times in your life have people said, I'll think about it? You thought you had a great conversation. You thought you had a sale. It was a honeymoon. And they said, this is great. I'll think about it. And I'll get back to you pretty soon, or in a day or two, or next week, or after I talk to my sales. How many of those people actually came back to you and did the deal? In my world, zero.
Yeah, those no. But when you're talking about your example, I need to talk to my wife, and he never got around to talking to her, or that kind of,
listen, what you do is you stroke and nurture. Listen, I think it's great that you're talking to your spouse. This is a big commitment. It's real estate. This is a great expense. And I like that you have a relationship where you respect each other. Let me ask my wife, honey, is it okay if I buy this house from this couple that's struggling right now and doesn't want to pay 6% real estate commission, and we negotiated a really fair price and we can close before the end of the month? My wife just said yes. It's okay. See, she walked in. Good timing. Good timing. Good timing. We've really done this.
I was going to say, do you have it on a recorder or you just push the button?
We've really done this. My feeling is...
It's so weird. I was just coming down the hall and I heard him go, I
My wife.
have this one. And so, well, I can do this one.
The thing about it is, there's exceptions. Okay, but when someone says, I need to think about it, let's role play it, Dave. Ready? Dave, you're not allowed to think about it, buddy.
What do you mean?
I mean, did I stutter? I said in the beginning, if we can do business, great. Remember that in the beginning, I'm going to ask you questions. You're going to ask me a few. If we can do this deal, great. If not, it's okay to fire me or say no. And usually
that one must have gone over my head a little bit.
It's this New York City accent of mine, and I talk too fast. But the bottom line is, when people usually, and tell me if I'm wrong, when they say they want to think about it, there's a reservation. There's something they really mean no, and they're being polite because they want to spare my sensitive feelings, because they, I can't find my boohoo tissues.
I run to Costco.
Don't you really mean no, David? Let's say no. It's over. You don't want to do the deal.
No, I really legitimately, I'd like to think about and crunch your numbers in my head a little bit and really compare it to the other offer that I got, and talk to my wife.
Yeah.
I understand that, but your wife hopefully comes home every night, right?
Yeah, she'll be home soon, actually.
Okay, good. Lynn is laughing a little too hard at that joke.
She's not working the streets at night, is she? Is that the joke?
Wasn't going there. Usually, why didn't you accept that other offer, David, from the other person?
Because, it was the first offer, and I wanted to give it a chance to see if somebody would offer me something better, and
Okay. When you say better, what is that? Now, boom, you go back into your questioning again. You've got to find out the truth.
Okay.
Is this guy just on a fishing expedition all day long? What's his level? The one thing I don't talk enough about is the level of motivation, the Gutspirometer. Is he a 1, 2, or 3? David is playing a 1, 2, or 3 right now. Could care less. I'll think about it. We're weighing our offers. He has no passion, no no motivation at this point.
Sense of urgency.
Yeah. Alex, what did you say?
Say no motivation.
Yeah. How much time? And so when you're doing the, I'll think about it with them, you've got to weigh on the scale. If this person is a 1, 2, or 3, fire them, push them away, use scarcity. If they're a 4, 5, or 6, maybe you want to go back into your questioning and see if you can dig out what the real issue is. Most of the time, it's a financial issue. It's something they're not getting enough money, or
So that's where the before I go stuff kicks in.
Yeah. So you've got to use the Gutspirometer, and if they're 4, 5, or 6, go back into it and get some more meat on the bone. Find out their level of motive, or create motivation. Find a need, create a need, or exacerbate a need. And then if they're an 8, 9, or 10, you got to go back and make them emotional. Dave, you told me you're 5 payments behind. Your wife can't sleep at night. You have a little equity in the house that you want to protect, but the bank is already saying that they're going to start foreclosure proceedings. I'm ready to, Dave, could you imagine for a moment, you and I make a commitment and we decide on a price, you get some cash out of this deal and your problems are over. April 1st, you get a nice check, and these people are not bothering you. Your wife can sleep at night, and you guys can start all over again, fresh start. Are we on the same page here?
You can close in less than 2 weeks.
Suppose I said yes. What would be your response?
And you take this thing off my hands, and I'll be done with it.
That's what I said. Suppose I could do all those things. Can you imagine all that? What would you say to me next? This is closing time, by the way. This is how you close. You close with a question. Suppose, imagine. Maybe you can't. You got to fix it later. But do you still want to get that?
That would give me a lot of relief, but I still would like to talk to my wife. She'll be home in an hour.
I think that's wonderful. What time does your wife come home at night?
Yeah.
Maybe she's a nurse. She works all night. I'm sorry, Lynn.
But say put it in writing, please.
Yeah.
Put it right.
When your wife comes home at night, do you greet her at the door with a nice glass of wine? You sit down, talk to her, and why don't we have a meeting tonight at 8 o'clock? And
so you wouldn't send the offer over so that when she comes home, you show this guy is legitimately offering us this. We'll be out of the house. We get everything behind us.
How long you been married? How long you been married, Dave?
24 years.
You sleep next to a woman for 24 years. And you don't know what she's going to say about this offer?
I don't know. She's not home at night. All right, I beat that horse to death.
Bottom line, off the role play. Dave, I can do this. This is where you use reciprocity. Dave, I will write up an offer, a very simple letter of intent. If you can do me a small favor, can we meet at 8 o'clock on Zoom, you and your lovely bride? And you ask me questions, and at the end of that conversation, you either say yes or no. No more, I'll think about it.
That's fair.
Which means?
Yeah, let's do that.
What?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. He said that's fair. Is that a commitment?
No.
This is the shit they do, isn't it? They use these words. That's fair. That sounds good. That's not a commitment, is it?
You didn't hone them down to the yes.
Yeah. You've got to, just to summarize, you've got to weigh.
You should get a hearing aid as a little prop for when you're on Zoom call. I'm sorry.
Yeah. What? You've got to know when to fire them, like I did today. I just didn't want to work with a person who set an appointment with me and then totally forgot me. I mean, what does that say to you? They don't care about you. They don't respect you. Are you really going to do a deal with that person?
You're saving yourself more headaches by cutting them loose.
Depends on how good the deal is. Sometimes it's worth a little bit of headache, but I know what you're saying.
Do you ever notice in those great conversations, we got a meeting of the mind, you're getting this symbiotic relate, you really like each other, you're communicating and everything. And why not go for it in that first meeting, that first phone call? Why not get that commitment?
Mm-hmm.
you got a little moment in time sometimes, that little magic moment in sales and business, and that it doesn't last very long.
What if they legit didn't show up for a good reason and you fired them? Does that somehow ever damage your reputation?
Yeah.
Like if you're protecting a brand or something? I mean,
yeah, well, listen, there are exceptions. Okay,
Yeah.
things happen.
Yeah.
Somebody had to go, got sick, or the power went off. There are exceptions, and I would accept an exception with apology. Okay, but what happens I know in this business, what happens? How many people here have had their heart broken in business? You thought you had the sale, you counted, you had that commission in your head. You said, "Oh, I'm going to pay this bill. Oh, maybe a trip to Hawaii. Oh, my car needs new tires." Did you ever spend the money before you got it? Am I the only one?
In reference to Lynn's question, if you would have responded, "Did something bad happen? Are we still on for our meeting?" Because you immediately, she said he's not home yet, and you said you're fired because you're waiting, and maybe their kid fell off the swing, and they okay, what?
She said to me, "Hi, I didn't realize we had a set time. I'm working until 3. She's the one who set the appointment.
Now she's lying. Now she's lying.
Then she said, "Oh, wow, it was an honest mistake." Is that the way we go through life? Is that the way we want people? I'm not trying to sound like a big shot here. And if I was starving, I'd excuse it. Oh, things happen and la-di-da. And then I'd set a new appointment. Then she'd miss that or reset that. And we go on and on and on. Bailey, you've had people like that, right?
Oh yeah. And the takeaway works, man. When you hold high frame and you show that, you're professional and you can help and like your time is valuable and you respect your own time and you have other places you can put your money and you tell them that and they feel that honesty. A lot of times, people will come right back and say, "Oh, I'm sorry. I really blah, 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 blah." And they'll give you the real reason, whatever their concern is, or they'll end up doing business.
It's so hard. Good point. It's so hard to get to the truth. All I want to have is, I want to use that lovely Gen X, that millennial term, transparency. Why can't we have honest dialogue? Say, I'm telling you up front, you can say no to me. Why can't we have honesty? Why do we have to have this mutual manipulation?
I think if it was really an honest mistake, she would have reached out to you and said, "Sorry, I made a mistake. I gave you the wrong time." If she was really, really interested and really wanted to talk to you, something came up. "I'm sorry, I can't make our appointment. Let's set it up for a different time."
Thank you for saying that.
I think so.
Thank you.
You're showing yourself to be somebody that won't hold her commitments anyway.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I think it depends on the level of motivation and the responsibility, like Suzette said so wonderfully. If that person, listen, I'm sorry, this and that, this happened, that happened, but this was just lying.
Because you called her several times and you texted her. So after how many calls and texts, then she responded something that had nothing to do with anything.
Is there anything wrong with holding people accountable?
Right.
Well, the fact that she responded with "wow" means you took her off guard, and she probably won't do that again. Well, she might have been slightly offended, but whatever.
You got a good point, Lynn. I'm just getting old and ornery and impatient. It's my bad. Okay.
Well, I'm not saying it's wrong. It's just because I've done that to people. I'm like, wow, I can't believe you just did that. It doesn't mean you were wrong to do it. But she could have, if she really wanted to work with you, she might have said, "Hey, wait, I'm sorry," or something, but she didn't come back with that. So you made the right choice.
Yeah, let's get this thing done. I'm ready.
Does anyone here have a good dentist? I have a dentist that I have to make appointments like 90 days or more in advance. Do you think, and they call me the day before, Claude, just a reminder, they give me that little, do you think I'm going to miss that appointment when I have to set it 3 months or more in advance? Great dentist.
Absolutely not.
Yeah. Does anyone have what's the message they're sending me? I'll say, "Gee, I'd like to come in for another cleaning." I get cleanings every 3 months. And I'll say, "Gee, I want to get another cleaning. Could we do it the end of March?" "Oh no, we're booked until late May." What do they? what's the beauty of that busy dentist? What are they saying to you when you want it in March and they can't schedule you until May? What is that message?
Better grab that time.
Scarcity.
Awesome at what they do.
Oh, who said scarcity? That was great.
I did scarcity. Yeah.
I love the way that my dentist uses scarcity. I think it's brilliant. I promised Alex, we were going to talk. You wanted to talk about master leases today.
Yes, I was just about to ask you about that.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't forget you.
Right.
Did you have? Let's talk about what is a master lease. For those of us, it's basically a real estate strategy for controlling either a fourplex or a large apartment building or a commercial entity. And they call it a master lease because what you're trying to do is negotiate taking over the management of that property and then you go and you can intersect an option into it so that down the road you can buy it while you're managing it. And you're trying to find a property, hopefully where you can raise the rents. Anybody ever notice that whenever a property is sold, what's the first thing the new landlord does? First thing.
Raise the rents.
Raise the rents.
Every time, right? How many people have rented apartments? I have. And whenever you see it say, oh, well, we have a new management company, we have a new owner, we have a new corporation. First thing, they raise the rents. They always do that. So that's, Alex, did I give a good definition, basically?
Yeah, you did.
Why is it, bring up, you have an interest in this, you brought it up. You're looking to control commercial or multiple dwelling type properties with a master lease.
Yeah, to make bigger assignment fees, bigger option fees.
Okay, now, so you're looking to control a small fourplex, sixplex, eightplex, 1,000-unit apartment building. What are you looking?
Say, just to start off between, let's say, 5 to maybe 50 units.
Okay. By the way, you can do this on residential and condos too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who have properties and they rent them out and they have no idea how to deal with tenants and toilets. Okay. Have you heard what's going on back to LA? Los Angeles has extended the moratorium on evictions.
Wow.
Can you believe this?
Wow.
What are they trying to do? These mom and pops who bought these little apartment buildings and these little units.
Yeah.
And
they're trying to drive them out of business so the state can take over the property.
Is that it?
That makes sense.
Man,
that makes logical sense.
Man, they can't even keep a bridge from falling down. Government is not the best people for business and for doing things. They can't even keep our roads and bridges from falling down and falling apart right now.
Right.
They can't even do the post office the right way. There's nothing there but to ship packages.
That's interesting. If I was the dictator of the world, the first thing I would do, and we have a great post office. We love the lady who runs our post office. She's a sweetheart. We bring her lattes because she takes good care of it. It's a small post office. First thing why do we have do we still need a post office? I think we're digressing here, Alex. I'm sorry. Do we need a post office?
Yeah, I think so.
I do.
But it's the worst business in the world. It doesn't make any money. It loses billions a year.
Pseudo government.
Do you think FedEx and UPS would fill in the gap if we had no more post office?
I believe
they do. They currently do. Yeah.
Should the government subsidize a business that loses billions of dollars a year?
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Is that the definition of government?
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
The government doesn't like capitalism, so they try to do the opposite of, especially they don't like it.
I'm going to show my age now. I loved Ronald Reagan. He said in one of his speeches, let's get the government out of people's lives.
Amen.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Back to Alex. I'm sorry, Alex. You know me. I can change subjects like that.
So the type of leads you would be looking for are like apartments that have lower rents.
Okay. Well, I would look
would
for
that be the best lead.
The best lead would be back to what we were talking about a few minutes ago. Motivated owners.
Yeah.
They're sick of the moratorium. I spoke with somebody yesterday, Alex Goulian, one of my students. He runs a management company in California. He says they have one tenant who has not paid their rent in almost 2 years.
It's horrible.
That would, I don't know about you guys, that would drive me, I would go nuts. I would go crazy.
There's nothing you can do about it.
And there's nothing you can do about it.
And he said, and do you think that landlord, that owner of that property with that deadbeat tenant in there in the great Soviet socialist state of Southern California, and the moratorium is going to, in LA, it's up to September. I think in San Diego, David, help me. San Diego, the moratorium's over, right?
I think so, yes. I think so. Can you hear me?
I think so too.
Sorry, I don't know.
I think it's over.
Claude, can't the landlords find a way to get in there and get them out for some other kind of reason if they've trashed the place? Or, I mean, can't you find a way?
We're public broadcasting right now. I can't answer that question the way I really want.
You can sell the property. You can sell the property, but you can't remove the tenant usually.
Hi, Jessica, Claude here. I want to sell you my property with a tenant who hasn't paid in 2 years.
I'm dying to get into something. I'll take it with the bad tenant. There's a lot of people that will.
I think that you just defined what is a hard sell.
Yeah.
It's a hard sell. So Alex, I think you got to find in this, there's a plethora to another $15 word. Used to be $10 words. David Skolnick gave me permission to increase my words to $15 now. I think you need to find really tired landlords, people who are just their money, they put their heart and soul into properties, and the government interfered. They're not collecting rents. The maintenance is high, and it's getting higher. Maintenance costs have gone through the roof. Have you guys seen what building supplies are going for now?
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard about what's going on in construction?
Mm-hmm.
It's nuts.
I've heard it's very expensive.
It's getting nuts. You have to find those kind of folks, because this will end, by the way, Alex. I mean, we'll get back. Things will get normal again. They always do. I'm an optimist.
Yeah.
But if you can find
the prices won't come back down.
No.
The rents.
Nope.
But can you imagine you own a small apartment building, maybe 20 units. You've got 20% of your tenants are not paying the rent. Okay. And you're scared about raising the rent because some of them will use that moratorium thing or just be late pays and everything. And you owe, maybe you're in a state like New York or California where they're all over. The landlords they're just tough as heck on landlords in those. Alex, you're in New York. You're in upstate. You're near Buffalo, right?
Yeah, I am in Buffalo.
Where are you looking? Where are you looking for these kind of properties?
No particular place.
Okay, fine. You got to, once again, like every guru at every seminar.
As long as there's no moratorium going on, I will market in those areas.
Yeah. So if you could find a building with motivated sellers, that's the operative word, with under market rents. Okay. Rents are going sky high in big cities right now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how this is going to work because a lot of people are moving from the big cities to more suburban and rural areas. This is playing out like when we first started it back in November, December, I like to make predictions. I was a little concerned about the inflation. I knew the interest rates are going to go up, but now we have the wild card of Ukraine. We got the gasoline going through the roof. COVID is still here. It's still a political football.
Apparently interest rates could go up 2% by the end of the year is the forecast for interest rates.
Well, didn't we all know that though? And didn't we know the government was lying about the inflation rate?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, gee, wow, it went from 6 to 8%. Oh, I'm shocked. Have you been to a gas station in the last 30 days?
Mm-hmm.
What would you have done in a situation like Michael Keaton in Pacific Heights, where the guy is like he's nailing himself into the apartment?
Oh yeah.
And it wait,
that movie will scare the hell out of you if you're thinking about getting into real estate.
You gotta state the geographic location. What state, what city?
San Francisco. That was
the case.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, now if you go to Texas, they don't mess around in Texas. You'll
Yeah,
be out.
right.
Don't mess with Texas, Leon. Don't mess with Texas.
They'll go in with guns blazing.
Yeah.
Alex asked, Bailey had a question. Alex, consider seeking out-of-state high equity sellers. Good. Code violations, tax lien list. Also building relationships with apartment brokers to get pocket listings. You're gonna have to do some marketing. You're looking for a needle in a stadium of haystacks, not one haystack, a stadium of haystacks, the Rose Bowl. Okay, so you're looking for an anomaly, a unique situation where someone is just saying, have you ever been fed up with something and you just said, I want to get out of this thing. I am sick of this car. I am sick of this apartment with the dogs barking. Have you ever had that? That's the person you're looking for. So those are the kind of situations you're looking for a master lease. Are you looking to manage the property, Alex, and raise the rents and increase your passive income? Or are you looking to put something together to arbitrage or wholesale to another investor?
Well, for right now, arbitrage, then like probably next year, start holding on to them for passive income.
Yeah. I suggest for doing the same thing, but maybe on a residential property. It's a lot easier. There's a lot more homes and condos than there are commercial or apartment buildings and stuff. If you can get a house in a situation where the people are motivated, they're behind in their payments or they're military, they were transferred and they need to sell it fast. And you can get it either the price, under market price, or you can get great terms. A rent to own type of term where you get a subsidy, where you get a lower rent. You go to an investor who's had a vacant apartment for 6 months and their payments are $1,000 a month. Can you negotiate that rent and say, look, you're losing $1,000 a month, you've lost it for 6 months, I'll give you $750. Would you rather lose $1,000 a month or $750 a month? And then you remarket it, hopefully, or clean it up because you know the market better than that absentee investor.
Right.
I would recommend, you don't have to, I like residential properties. There's just more of them.
Okay. Yeah, you're right.
There was a thing on the news a couple weeks ago. Immigrant family, California, they worked their butts off to get like 15, 20 little properties, condos and things. The husband passed away and the wife was managing it. She was in her 60s and this was her retirement income. And it was on the news and my heart went out to this lady because less than 50% of her tenants were paying the rent. And her and her husband worked all their lives. They saved, they bought these properties, they fixed them up, they rented them. And then this whole COVID garbage started and half of the tenants are not paying the rent. Now, and I know in California now, maybe somebody can help me with this. California is actually, it was on the news the other night, they're reimbursing landlords for the rent that they have not received. Does anyone know anything about that?
Wow. Yeah, they're doing that everywhere.
Okay.
I mean,
but how long does it take to get that check? That's all I want to know.
Forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alex, did we depress you there with all that?
Oh no, it makes sense to just focus on residential right now.
Claudia and I built up a wonderful business. We started with little 1-bedroom condos. And mobile homes, just little things. You know, they were inexpensive. They were much more affordable. They weren't as scary because they were much cheaper. And we eventually got from these 1-bedroom lofts. David, you remember in Eastlake, these little one-bed in Villa Martinique, these little 1-bedroom lofts. They had a little spiral staircase. Downstairs was a kitchen, a bathroom, a living room with a patio. Upstairs was the bedroom, an open bedroom. you know, the loft style with another bathroom upstairs. And I love these units. And I picked up so many of them from VA and FHA foreclosure.
Those were your cookie cutters.
They were my cookie cutters. And I could rent those out to young couples, young married, single people. They loved this unit. It was a really cool looking unit. And we could rent, and we picked them up from VA foreclosures and FHA and stuff. And that's how we got started. And then as we grew, we sold them. They went up in value, or some of them were keepers, some of them you sold. And then we moved up to townhomes. Okay, little upscale condos, condo situations. Then we finally got into single family houses, and that's where you can really make some money in upscale areas, single family homes. Everybody wants a home. Although condos are, it's great. I'm here in Winter Park. I'm in a little ski town, and we've got crummy little 2-bedroom condos for $750,000 because they're on the ski area, because you can ski, and people buy them and then they rent them out.
Tell them again what you got that house for in the lease purchase. When you
This house, I'm in Colorado. We got this house about 21 years ago. We negotiated a rent to own $380,000 price, which was really cheap compared to California. And the owner was building a spec home, and he needed money real fast. So he came to me very quickly after we did the lease purchase. And he said, I need cash. Any way you can buy this home? What do you think I said, Alex? What's the next thing you say?
How much?
Alex, I really need, yeah. Go ahead, Lynn. Jump
Sorry.
in. Lynn, I really need, Lynn, I gotta, Lynn, I know we set this for $380 and a 3-year rent to own, but I could really use some cash. Any way we could do business today?
Yeah, but I could probably only give you maybe 280 or 300 or some lower number.
Okay.
How bad do you need it?
Why don't we do is the first to offer? What's the rule about the first to mention price, by the way?
You lose.
I like what Lynn did was really good, but I think sometimes I've made this mistake in the past where I said the price first.
Yeah.
And I think I could have got it lower. Oh yeah, we'll do it right away. Oh yeah, that's great. When they get too excited about your offer, what does that tell you?
You had more wiggle room there than you thought.
Money.
So did you say how much do you need?
Yeah, go ahead. Back in the role play. Lynn, I know we got a purchase price at $380 and a 3-year rent own, but I could really use the money now on my new home up the street here. I'm running a little dry, to be honest with you. Any way we could accelerate this?
Well, I'd love to help you, but I got some other deals going that I don't really have a lot of liquid cash right now. So how much are you looking for?
I'd be willing to drop the price. Suppose and this had really happened. This is really, suppose I, 300,000.
When do you need it by?
Yesterday.
Oh, 300. I don't know if I can get that quickly. I could probably do maybe, what is that the lowest you can go?
That's it. I mean, I just dropped $80,000, Lynn.
Yeah. Well, 300. Okay. I could probably do that, but it might take me a couple weeks. I mean, can you ask for price or terms? You got the price, you try to do something else, or just take it?
Bottom line, when someone drops $80,000 in one breath,
take it.
They are motivated.
On a 1 through 10, the Gutspirometer, what is that person?
11.
11.
Yeah. And that's what we did. And we got
then you go to your lender and you tell them I just negotiated at $80,000 even lower.
Yeah. And this is a 21 years later, this is a 7-figure home because things changed. The demand changed. The ski area was bought and sold by a couple Wall Street firms, and people start money. COVID really helped real estate. I hate to say this. Guess what happened with COVID? People in the cities, Denver and stuff, said, gee, I can work from home. They have good Wi-Fi up there. Why am I in the city? And they're coming up here and they're buying, pardon my language, ladies, they're buying little shit shacks for for 500,000 to $1 million.
Wow.
Yep. Better coffee, cleaner bathroom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you get the more you're in this business, the more you talk to people, the more opportunities present themselves. Absolutely. So you start with little condos and things, and then you build up to townhomes, and then you build up to houses. Slow but sure.
And apartment buildings.
In apartment buildings.
Can I tell you the truth, or should I just make you feel good today?
I'll be straightforward.
That's the truth.
Apartment buildings to me are like my worst. I've been a tenant. I drove my landlords nuts when I was 21 years old. Okay. I mean, managing apartment buildings, oh God, can you imagine what that's like?
You make a lot of money when you do apartment buildings, though.
You do, but
you
And
really
then hire a property manager.
There you go. Hire somebody else to manage it.
That's right.
Yes.
a lot of work. Hey, it's 5 o'clock here in Winter Park, Colorado. Anything else we want to talk about before we go? Who's dying to say something or ask a question?
How long are you going to be in Vegas on the way to San Diego?
I'm going to actually be in Mesquite. We're leaving on
nice.
Wednesday. We're here in Colorado. Tons of snow here. Oh my God, it just won't stop snowing here. We're leaving for Mesquite, Nevada. 1,106 miles to San Diego, and we always stay in Mesquite. It's you drive through Utah, then you get through Arizona, and then you go to Nevada. And as soon as you cross the border, I mean, right after you cross the line, there's a big sign there, "Welcome to Nevada." What do you think you see?
Casinos.
Yeah, a ton. This little town, Mesquite, it's off Route 15, I think, has about 4 or 5 casinos right there on the edge. And guess what? They want you to stay overnight. And they have pretty nice rooms and buffets and everything. They don't charge. I'm getting a nice room for like $58.
That's not the one. That's not the one on California, Nevada.
No, that's you're thinking of Lake Tahoe. You're thinking of Lake Tahoe. Why do these casinos give you these nice rooms, free parking, all kinds of little things? I mean,
Spend.
They want you to gamble.
Stay and gamble. Stay and gamble.
Yep.
You guys ever go to? You guys ever go to the casino and you're seeing these all these old people with oxygen bottles and cigarettes and doing this and stuff like that?
I work at a casino.
Oxygen bottles and cigarettes. Wow, what a visual!
I
can tell you some stories about casinos. I used to work in one.
Lucky strike sticking out of their pocket.
People that don't leave their seat even to go to the bathroom. So you do the math on that one.
Oh no.
Well, the old people are they're already wearing diapers. They can stay longer.
Some of them don't. Or the ones that go to the buffet and you can't leave to go to the bathroom because they won't let you back in, and they want to sit there all day.
I guess. Pardon this pun. This is horrible. I guess it all depends.
Oh.
I'm sorry. I told you it was bad.
Don't forget your diapers, Claude.
Oh man.
Bring extra.
What's that?
I said bring extra diapers.
No. My children are grown up. No more diapers.
Well, good luck. Hope you get lots of money.
The worst thing I ever saw in a casino before we go, I like to end on a real high note, which this is not, is somebody sitting there, an old person on the slot machine, oxygen bottle on the side, little Crown Royal drink, and they're smoking a cigarette through their neck.
Oh my God.
No. Oh,
that's addicted.
Wow, I feel so much healthier right now than I did 5 minutes ago.
There's a lot of addictions going on with that person.
Lynn, tell us your best casino story.
Well, I worked in the business office. I was an accountant there, so I wasn't in the casino very much, but my friend worked in guest relations and he handled all the bad stuff. Oh, there was one guy, our security guards were so overweight that people would steal the chips and the money and run out, and the security guard would just sit there and watch them. Even chase them. One time well, this is really sad. One time somebody went out into the parking lot and shot themselves because they had lost so much money. They killed themselves.
Oh no,
That was
that's
really sad. Yeah.
Maybe they did their family a favor.
I don't know,
Yeah.
but there's a lot of addictions in those. It's a very sad environment. Very
Yeah.
sad.
I talked earlier about food addiction, and gambling is
Oh, yeah.
gambling. You ever look at the faces of people on the gaming, on all the different games and everything? They got this little glaze in their eye.
Mhm.
Yeah, I barely ever walked in the casino because it was such a depressing atmosphere.
Mhm.
Can't handle the ding ding
And the
ding ding
dinging,
ding ding ding
yeah,
ding constantly. I don't know how people handle that noise.
Yep. Mm-mm-mm.
Have you seen what the slot machines look like now? I mean, they're late. I mean,
They are very colorful.
they're very colorful. They're very
Like video games. They're like playing video games.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And I can't figure out the one thing, Lynn. Maybe you can help us before we go. All those free drinks they give you. Why do they do that? They're such nice people.
They want you to get drunk and keep gambling. They don't want you to leave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's always dark in a casino. You ever notice it always looks like early evening?
Yeah, the late night's pretty scary. Before I started working there, I would go there in the late nights with my friends, and I spent a lot of money there in playing blackjack. And then once I left there, I never went back to another casino and that was 10 years ago. So
Aren't there
I saw
people?
the inner workings.
Tell me, I'm going to ask Alaska. I'm fascinated by this because to me, the casino is the most perfect business in the world. You go to, when we drive home and you go to Las Vegas, you see these are billion-dollar casinos, pyramids, Eiffel Towers. You got hotels with roller coasters on the top. Jessica, you were just there and everything.
New York City skyline.
Oh yeah, it's amazing. What was I going to ask you about this? Oh shoot. What happens when do people ever get do they ever have fights and stuff in casinos?
That I never saw. I don't know.
Okay.
But so I worked in the Milwaukee casino, Potawatomi, that was run by the Indians. And so they didn't give free drinks. People had to pay so they weren't, it wasn't like your Vegas kind of casino.
Yeah.
It was a little bit more reserved, but
I just have
There's
this
a lot
fear.
of
I just have this
security.
fear of Robert De Niro walking up.
There's a lot of security in all the casinos as well. So it's really everything's under a microscope. So I've never seen a fight break out when I've been in Vegas.
Yeah.
Oh, I remembered my question, Lynn. Are there the people you banned from the casinos who were so good at blackjack? Are there really people that are so good at it that they can beat the house consistently?
Oh, the people that can count cards and whatnot.
Yeah. Their memory is so good.
Yeah. But they can adjust the machines. I don't know so much about the cards, but I know they can adjust the machines so the payout is a certain percentage. And people would always complain that their machines were really tight. And I don't know how true that is. I'm sure it is to some degree, but I think there's laws against that. I mean, that's different than the counting the cards. But yeah, there's people that's really what the security is for, just to watch those people more so than anything else, because there's cameras everywhere. Because I worked in that environment, I always feel like there's a camera on me. I don't care where I am. You just get ingrained into believing that there's a camera on you at all times.
Did you ever see the Kevin Spacey movie 21, where him and a bunch of college students, they're all mathematical nerds, and they have figured out a way to beat the house? And I was just wondering if there are people really like that, who are that good at math.
There are.
I believe there are.
Yeah, there are.
Yeah.
You remember Jerry Lucas, the basketball player?
Yeah.
He could memorize everything. He had like photographic memory. He could go through all of those cards in one of those stacking card machine, boxes, and he would memorize the order of every card. Like a computer.
I don't remember what color my underwear is today. I mean, and on that high note, thank you for another eclectic session of Beer with Claude, solving all the problems of the world while trying not to be inebriated, drinking Coors Light. You guys are wonderful.
Did Max
Thanks
ever use that line?
No. Absolutely not. Monday, we will have our group call on Monday at 9 o'clock Pacific, 12 o'clock Eastern time, right on Zoom again. And haven't picked a theme. Anybody have a suggestion for a theme for Monday?
Can you at some point do a show or a topic on the flashcards? Because David's been talking about those lately, and I don't know anything about the flashcards, and I would love to know. If it's not a whole show, talk about it somewhat.
It's an ongoing project.
Print them. You should have those as a printed set and include them in the.
Remember Glenn Glary, Glenn Ross? These are the Glenn Glary leads. These are all the different rules and techniques and strategies and psychology and hypnotic suggestions. Every time I get an idea for being persuasive in sales, I put it on a card.
I'm gonna copy those when you come to San Diego.
Claude, like we talked about yesterday, talk about tech a little bit on Monday as well.
Yeah, tech is always good. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I run my whole business, no employees, me sitting on wherever I'm living at the time.
Yeah.
Wow. I use social media. I put out content, YouTube mostly, and people call me. Not always wonderful, but a lot of warm calls, and that's great. Always turn a question into a question with finesse. What does that mean? Alex, why is the sky blue?
I don't know, Claude. That's a good question. What made you ask me that?
See how well he just did that? That's a good question. He didn't say that's the stupidest thing I ever heard. Who cares, right? He said that's a good question. What happens to me when he rewards me? Good question. Nice going.
Makes you like me.
Yeah.
I know you got to go, but for Wednesday role play, if you can apply.
I'm not doing.
You're traveling.
Okay. Justin, I'll be traveling. Justin will be doing it, and Justin's great.
Okay.
Justin will be doing role play Wednesday.
Or maybe the next week after that, if you can apply guts to other sales profession role plays, insurance, loan officers, stuff like that. Just
David, you've got 5 kids, 3 chihuahuas, and you have a company that employs 25 people who are dependent on you. And you don't have any insurance on your company?
Well, I've got some.
But man, these people they got kids in college, they got mortgages and everything. God forbid you're hit by a bolt of lightning or hit by a garbage truck full of nuns. What's going to happen to all these people and their families who have worked so hard?
Let me write that down on a card. Wait.
You should be ashamed of yourself.
Claude is just great at this.
I've made a decision. We're going to fix this right now. For a nominal amount of money, we can get a multi-million-dollar insurance policy. I have a doctor waiting right now. I'm going to pick you up. I'm going to take you to his office. We're going to do an examination. I'm going to write you up a $25 million insurance policy so you can protect those people and their families. Are you okay with that?
How much is that going to cost me?
A lot, but it's worth it. Don't you owe these people? They made you rich. They gave you a great life. Don't you think a little bit of money should be spent to protect them too?
Wow.
Okay. Good sample. Just like that kind of stuff. Car salesman, just to put it out there a little bit.
The beauty of the gut system is that you can switch. We're 13 minutes after the hour. How do you guys do this to me? I'm training you way too well.
It's the beer.
The beauty of guts is you can apply it to any business because you understand it's empathy. You understand how other people think and feel.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Once you understand that.
You just got me emotional. You just got me emotional about my employees and what they've done for me. What's my reciprocity back to them?
Emotion is so powerful. Claudia and I, earlier this week, we were watching YouTube and we were watching these, when the father or mother comes home from Afghanistan or something, and the kids are totally surprised and they just break down and start crying and they hug their mom or dad who came home on the arm and everything. And I mean, keep a dry eye when you see stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
And doesn't Rebecca come home to you and do the same thing?
Oh yeah. You know, but I usually know when she's coming. Did you ever see those surprise or the dog videos? Anybody here ever watch the dog videos when the owner's been gone for a while?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
They don't recognize them at first until they smell them for a minute or two. And then like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Their tails are like,
Oh yeah, yeah. I love those videos, and they make me teary because they're so just wonderful. They're so human. They're so natural. That kind of emotion. Can you imagine if you could take that and utilize that kind of emotion in business when it's appropriate to make somebody like and trust you and say yes? That's a pretty dangerous power. That's a superpower, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Have a great weekend, guys. Stay safe and healthy. I love you. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you. Safe
Bye.
trip.
Thank
drive
you.
safe.